Early one morning, on the small path leading out of an Bin village, Mrs. Six rode her motorbike, her two sons perched behind her. She was in a hurry, with only 5 minutes left before school started. As she drove, she grumbled at the two boys. "Why are you two still sleeping in? I've told you countless times. Watch out, your eyes will be swollen. Last night I told you so many times, yet when I got home from work, I still saw you giggling on the bed." Sang stammered, "Mom, I'm sorry. It's because Dad bought us a comic book." "Your dad too, I'll talk to him later. You're always getting spoiled, and then you become naughty and spoiled. Be careful, or one day I'll throw away all your toys and comics, don't blame me then." "No, Mom, we'll study hard, we promise," the boys pleaded. Mrs. Six pressed on, trying to drive faster to get them to school on time. Let's talk a little more about Mrs. Six's circumstances. She was 30 years old this year. Her two twin sons, Sang and Tram, were in 4th grade. Ever since the couple started a coffee business at Kenlo bus station, the shop was run by Mrs. Six and a relative. The bus station was open day and night, so they had to split into 2 shifts. Mrs. Six worked from midnight until noon the next day, and her relative covered the remaining time. Her husband, Mr. Six, drove a container truck. This job was the very matchmaker that brought them together 10 years ago. Back then, Mrs. Six was a young girl who was the center of attention, often teased and flirted with by the truck drivers at the station. She was very beautiful. And then, surprisingly, the one who won the beauty's heart was Mr. Six, a middle-aged man at the time. He wasn't overly handsome, nor was he wealthy. He had just quit his old job and had been working as a truck assistant for an acquaintance for a few months. When asked why she chose Mr. Six, she immediately replied without a hint of hesitation. "I find Mr. Six to be a gentle and honest man. Although he's not financially stable yet, I believe he'll be able to provide for our family one day." And it was true. From the moment they started dating, Mr. Six changed noticeably. He diligently learned, accumulated experience and capital. In just a short time, he borrowed money to buy an old container truck and started taking on cargo jobs. No matter how long or short the trip, he accepted it. As a result, just 1 year later, he had saved enough money to propose to Mrs. Six. That year's wedding was grand and magnificent, making countless people in Bin village admire and envy them. Joys came one after another when Mrs. Six announced she was pregnant. This gave Mr. Six even more motivation to work hard. It could be said that back then, if he was number 2, no one in the village dared claim to be number 1 in terms of success. Many times, the couple confided in each other. Mrs. Six asked if he wanted daughters or sons. Mr. Six honestly said that he was the only son of his lineage, and his parents had passed away early, so he wanted a son to continue the family line and bring peace to his parents in the afterlife. And not only did his wish come true, but he got even more than that, with Mrs. Six giving birth to adorable twin boys. Overjoyed, he decided to name the 2 children Sang and Tram. And so, the lives of the 4-member family passed by in warmth and happiness. Currently, Mrs. Six, though she had been living with her husband for 10 years, was still loved and pampered unconditionally by Mr. Six. Back to the present, after dropping off her 2 children at school, Mrs. Six turned her motorbike towards a nearby market. Mr. Six was coming home tonight after an interprovincial cargo trip that had lasted more than 4 days. It was better now. When they first met, he was probably home only a few days a month, barely enough to count on her fingers. In about an hour, Mrs. Six finished buying all the meat and fish, and also half a jackfruit, her husband's favorite fruit. Almost every time he came home, he only asked her to buy that. In the afternoon, Mrs. Six had just woken up from her nap. Since her husband was coming home soon, she asked the stall owner to help her watch the stall for a moment so she could pick up Sang and Tram. Then she heard a voice calling from outside, "Honey." Of course, Mrs. Six recognized it as her husband's voice. Immediately, she opened the front door and stepped out with a bright smile. It was true, Mr. Six was home. Standing right next to him was a man of similar age, wearing a police uniform. A bit bewildered, Mrs. Six stammered, "Honey, is that you? How did you get home? Why didn't you tell me to pick you up at the bus station?" "And this is Vin, my high school friend," Mr. Six said. "He's been working for the district police, and now that they've merged, he's been reassigned to our commune. I met him earlier, and after talking, I asked him to give me a ride home." "Oh, I see. Hello, Mr. Vin." Hello, Mrs. Six. It's been about 10 years, hasn't it? I used to live in this village, but my family moved to the district. Now I'm back here for work. I attended your wedding, but it's been so long, you probably don't remember. Yes, it's true, I don't remember. Please come in, both of you. I'll make some tea and pour some water. Honey, I'll prepare some snacks for you and your friend, just some light bites are fine. Remember to drink less, save your health. What next, honey? Are you not going to work anymore? Why? It's a long story. I'll tell you sometime later when we're both together. For now, Vin, please come in first. Her husband's vague words made Mrs. Six curious, but seeing a guest, she just let it go. A moment later, Mr. Six and his friend Vin settled down on the stone table and chairs on the veranda to chat and drink. Inside, Sang and Tram were delighted with the comic books that their father had bought them last month. Mr. Six had promised that if their academic results were good, he would buy another set. For children in rural areas who hadn't been exposed to many phones and other forms of entertainment, comic books were like a treasure. In fact, anyone who owned popular comic book sets like Doraemon or Conan was revered as an idol by the village children. After drinking for a while, Vin looked at his friend and said, "All right, Six, let's stop at this glass. You have work tomorrow. I know the nature of your job, you only get to come home once in a while, so you don't have time to spend with your wife and children." Mr. Six shook his head and chuckled. "No need to worry about this. Today, just drink to your heart's content with me because I'm not driving anymore." "What, you're not driving anymore? Why, is something wrong?" Mr. Six shook his head. "Nothing's wrong. I've been planning to start a business. This truck driver job can't be for me forever. Sang and Tram are about to enter 5th grade, and at this age, they need a lot of attention and guidance from both parents. If I'm always away, how can my wife handle everything alone at home? She has to sell drinks and take care of the market. I've been thinking about this for months. Besides, my cousin just started in this profession. I'll let him be the assistant driver. As of now, I'm quite stable. Last month, he also secured his license, so I plan to let him rent my container truck. As for me, I'll find a space near the bus station to open a car wash and repair shop, as well as sell auto parts and accessories for cars and trucks. These days, I see more and more people owning cars, and in this commune and the neighboring one, despite being close to the bus station, there isn't a dedicated place for this. There are only a few shops that paint and repair motorbikes and combine it with other work." Vin nodded in agreement. "Your direction sounds good. It's well calculated and addresses your family's issues. After all, I also have 2 daughters the same age as your kids, so I know very well that just a little neglect can make them go astray immediately." "That's right," Mr. Six agreed. "I didn't study much, only finished high school, then went out to earn money, so I want to give Sang and his brother the best. They must study well, become someone important, then I'll be at peace. Have you told your wife about this idea yet?" "Not yet. Because I need to plan carefully, then I'll tell her once. If I say it too early, if it doesn't work out, it'll be a waste of time and make her worry. But I think I'll tell her tonight or tomorrow because I've researched everything thoroughly. I've already inquired about renting the space, and on opening day, I'll definitely invite you. Don't refuse." "Of course, how could I refuse? So now that you're not working, let's have another drink. Tomorrow is the weekend, I don't have to go to the office. It's quite relaxed." Mr. Six nodded, quickly pouring another glass of wine for his friend. The two continued to drink until past 10 p.m., and the bottle was empty. Vin stood up and patted his friend's shoulder. "All right, this is enough. I have to go home. If you're free sometime, let's meet for coffee." Mr. Six grabbed his friend's hand and said a few more words before Vin left. The commune had arranged a residential complex for the committee's officials and staff while waiting for the merged system to be fully established. After seeing his friend off, Mr. Six called out, "Honey, dear wife." Mrs. Six, who was inside, probably cleaning and washing dishes, stepped out. "Are you done drinking? Are you very drunk yet? Remember to park the motorbike inside and go rest. I'll clean up." "Not too drunk yet, just help me with this. Where are Sang and Tram? Did they go to sleep?" "Yes, they're asleep. Tomorrow is the weekend, so I let them relax tonight. Tomorrow they'll start studying and doing the homework the teacher gave them." "All right, that's good. We shouldn't always make them study. Sometimes it has the opposite effect. Are you going to work, dear? You'll finish cleaning, then shower and change, then go there, right? Be careful on the road. I go every day, you don't need to worry. But honey, I have something to tell you. What is it? You said you wouldn't work anymore so suddenly. Are you sick or tired? No, I was planning to tell you tomorrow, but since you asked, I'll tell you now. Mr. Six then began to present his business plan. Mrs. Six listened, her face clearly showing worry. Have you thought this through, honey? Yes, I've thought it through carefully. Don't you trust me? It's not that I don't trust you, but I'm a bit surprised by this, because you've never had experience in business or trade before. It's true I have no experience, but I'm not clueless about things related to vehicles. Besides, I think if things are stable, you won't have to sell drinks at the stall anymore. You can help me with the business accounting. We can't work for others forever. Mrs. Six sighed. I know you're thinking of me and the children, so we don't have to endure your long absences anymore. I don't want to forbid anything, but if you decide this, you must think very carefully. Of course, don't worry. I only do things I'm sure about, and once I start, I won't let you and the children suffer. The conversation quickly ended because Mrs. Six had to urge her husband to go rest. After cleaning up, she checked the back doors near the bathroom, then went to the water stall to sell. As for Mr. Six, he lay down on the bed and quickly fell asleep. In his mind were positive thoughts about the upcoming future, but he didn't know that his own decision would lead to unpredictable events. 3 days later, this morning, Mr. Six had an appointment with Mr. Bin, the owner of the property he intended to rent to open his shop. This property was originally a house with one ground floor and one upper floor, and a spacious cemented yard. But because Mr. Bin had moved to the city to live with his children, the house was handed over to a relative to use for tutoring. 3 months ago, this relative stopped tutoring, and now the property was vacant, so Mr. Bin put it up for rent. After meeting and inspecting the property for a while, Mr. Six went with Mr. Bin to the water stall where his wife sold goods to sit and chat. After having a glass of iced lemonade, Mr. Bin asked, "So, Six, what do you think of my property? Is it to your liking?" Mr. Six nodded repeatedly. Of course. Honestly, Uncle, I've passed this road countless times. When I drove cargo home, as soon as the truck left the bus station gate, your property was right in front of my eyes. It's both large and wide enough to install equipment and a car wash area. Even a container truck like mine can fit there. That's right, Mr. Bin said. I let my nephew use it for tutoring, but he only used the indoor space. The outdoor yard was empty. This house also had a lot of my heart from the beginning, but my children kept urging me to move to the city. Otherwise, I would have wanted to stay here to enjoy my old age. Now I'm up there, leaving the house here empty is wasteful. I'm not at ease. If you like it, I'll rent it to you. If you want a clear contract, we'll draw one up, but no need for a deposit. I calculate it to be $5 million a month. You can pay for a few months in advance if you want. That way, I'll have some money for my grandchildren to buy snacks in the city. I'm not interested in making a fortune from this property. Hearing this, Mr. Six beamed with joy. Oh, Uncle Bin, with conditions like these, what could be better? Thank you very much, Uncle. No need for thanks, Mr. Bin said. By you renting it, you're also watching over the house and the furniture inside. I didn't move anything. You can use it if you like. This place is also near your 2 children's school and also near your wife's workplace. Overall, it's convenient in every way. Uncle Bin, you are truly my benefactor. Benefactor, you're exaggerating. Now I have some business to attend to. Think about it, then call me and I'll prepare the contract. Yes, I understand. Thank you again. Mr. Six then escorted Mr. Bin out. After that, he returned to the table at the water stall. Just then, Mrs. Six stepped out from behind the counter. Honey, how did the conversation with Mr. Bin go? I was making drinks for customers, so I only heard bits and pieces. Mr. Six excitedly recounted it to his wife. Mrs. Six was, of course, also surprised. Good heavens, why is he so kind? A property on this road, both near the bus station and spacious, with a rent of only $5 million a month, is truly strange. What's strange about it, dear? Mr. Bin isn't poor or struggling. No, honey, I know your personality, you don't pay close attention to details, but for business and renting property, one must consider carefully. We also need to invite a master to check. We can't just rent it. Invite a master? What do you mean? To avoid any trouble after opening the shop, what then? This business is serious. It affects our entire future. It's no different from when you bought the container truck. You had to invite a master to perform a ritual, didn't you? This is a bit more complicated. I think you should invite a master to see if this land is suitable for our business. Why are you so superstitious? Who believes in that anymore? A customer sitting at the water stall interjected. Our ancestors said, "Those who believe will be blessed, those who abstain will be well." You have to believe. 6. You can't change that. Don't you see, the richer people get, the more they believe in spirituality? Even my family here, when we open to sell breakfast to students, we still have to invite a master to perform opening rituals. Hearing that, Mr. Six was somewhat persuaded. So he said, "All right, if we need a master, we'll hire one. But who can we hire now? Sometimes, if it's the wrong person, we lose money and get into trouble. They might even scam us." "You don't have to worry about this," Mrs. Six replied. "I just said, near the district market, there's Master Hoa. He's very good at choosing auspicious dates and times, performing rituals for people's openings." Master Hoa sounds strange. "What's strange about it?" the other customer added. "Master Hoa is very famous. My family also relied on him before. He doesn't take much money like God of the market. He takes what you offer voluntarily. There was even a time when he performed a ritual for a poor family and didn't take any money." Mr. Six fell silent, watched for a while, then turned to his wife. "All right, help me find Master Hoa. Go invite him here." "Yes, I'll go inquire." Time continued to pass. This morning, Mr. Six and his wife were at Mr. Bin's property. Master Hoa was busy, so he just went and told the couple to look around if they wanted. Mr. Six kept looking at his watch, muttering, "What kind of master is this, so unpunctual? It's been half an hour since morning and he's nowhere to be seen." "Calm down, honey," Mrs. Six said. "Master Hoa is very busy. Yesterday I called him and he said he couldn't give an exact time, just sometime between 8 and 10 a.m., because he had to go perform a ritual for a family with a funeral this morning." Indeed, before he could finish grumbling, a motorbike stopped in front of them. The person on the motorbike immediately waved. "Master, Master 2. Master 2 stepped down. Mr. Six guessed he was over 50, a short and small man wearing an old-fashioned ba-ba outfit and carrying a string of prayer beads. Master 2 approached with a friendly smile. "Hello, you two. I apologize for the slight delay. The ritual at that house was a bit complicated and took too much time." "It's all right, Master," Mr. Six said. "What are you two planning to rent this property for?" "My husband plans to make it a car repair and paint shop and sell auto parts," Mrs. Six replied. "All right, let me take a look around." "Please make yourself at home." Mrs. Six opened the main door wide. Master 2 took a compass from his bag. After nearly half an hour, Master 2 came back out. "From what I see, this house is quite good, clean and airy, no construction or layout that goes against feng shui. You even researched during construction. Now, would you both mind giving me your lunar birth dates, along with your full names and address, so I can read your fortune?" "Yes." Mrs. Six took out a piece of paper. "Master, here are our names and personal information." Master 2 nodded, walking to the table and chairs in the living room. He pulled out a huge notebook. Inside were pages of calculations and squiggly writing. They thought everything would go smoothly, but less than 10 minutes later, Master 2 looked up, his eyes gazing at Mr. and Mrs. Six with a look of concern. Mrs. Six spoke up. "Master, have you finished checking? Is everything all right? When can we hold the opening ceremony?" Noticing his hesitation, Mrs. Six began to grow anxious. "What's wrong, Master? Please tell us directly so we know how to handle it." "I think it's best you two don't rent this property," Master 2 said. "I just calculated. For you, it's fine, but your husband is different. His birth chart is incompatible with this land. The energy of this place is almost severely conflicting with him." "Master, if we do business here, will we lose money?" Mrs. Six asked. "Even more serious than losing money. This conflict is so serious that it will affect your husband's health and future. I didn't want to say it, but sometimes stubbornness can even involve one's life because this conflict is considered destroying the owner, leading to death. "What?" Mrs. Six exclaimed. Beside her, Mr. Six seemed disbelieving, so he started questioning. "Master, is there any mistake? Please check for me again. Check properly, find a real master." Master 2 shook his head. "This has nothing to do with money. I can do it for free, but even if I check 100 times, the result will be the same. If you two don't believe, you can find someone else." "All right, Master, please go rest," Mr. Six said. "My wife and I will discuss it here. Here's your fee." He took an envelope from his pants pocket, which he had prepared earlier. Master 2 shook his head. "I didn't do much, no need for payment. You two just consider it carefully. I already said, if it were a minor conflict, I could perform a ritual and use some feng shui items to change it. But this is very serious, not simple at all. Anyway, you two have only planned, not yet paid a deposit or started construction on this property, so it's best to find another place." Mrs. Six nodded. "Yes, Master, take your time. We'll discuss among ourselves and let you know." After seeing Master 2 hoe her off, Mrs. Six turned to her husband. "Honey, what now?" "What now? I don't believe in such conflicts," he said. "We're doing honest business, not doing anything wrong. I also set up a grand altar for the god of wealth and earth god. Regular offerings come from the heart, there's no conflict or taboo." "No, honey, don't say that, you're just being reckless. It's getting late, Sang and Tram will be coming home from school soon. I need you to go pick them up. But honey, I'm hungry. Let's discuss this later, you go take care of it." "All right, I'm going then." Mr. Six said that to his wife, but in his mind, he seemed unwilling to change his decision at all. Because he had already contacted suppliers for parts and equipment, even paid deposits to them. Now if he has to find a new place, who knows when that will be. When Sang and Tram came home, Mrs. Six served a simple meal. Seeing the steaming, fragrant dishes, Mr. Six immediately flattered his wife. "Today, Sang's mother, the cook, truly is no joke. Maybe next we'll open a restaurant for you to sell food." "You're too sweet-tongued," Mrs. Six chuckled, not forgetting to remind her two sons. "Sang, Tram, you two quickly go downstairs and wash your faces, hands, and feet. Were you good at school today? Did the teacher criticize anything?" "No, Mom, we were very good," Sang replied. "Tram was praised by the teacher, and I didn't get called on to do the assignment, otherwise I would have been as good as him." "You two must try hard, there are 3 exams coming up soon. If your scores are low, say goodbye to your toys and comics. For the whole summer, your mother won't let you touch them." "Yes, we know." While the 2 children went downstairs to wash their hands, Mrs. Six turned to her husband. "Honey, about the property, what are you planning? I just remembered there are a few good spots near the bus station." "What? Tomorrow, let's go check them out, okay?" "No, I'm still going with Mr. Bin's property," he said. "Didn't you listen to the master?" "It's not that I didn't listen, he didn't check accurately. And then I asked another master to check, and he said there was no conflict. Master 2 calculated wrong." "Is that true? But how can that be? Master 2 is very famous." "Famous or not, haven't you heard the saying, cheap goods are bad goods? He knows his own limits, so he doesn't dare ask for high fees. He takes whatever is given. He's just sweet-talking to earn money, not some high-level divine master. I told you, there's nothing for you to worry about. You just take care of selling drinks and urging Sang and his brother to study. As for the shop, I'll handle it. Once it's stable, I'll let you be the boss, okay?" Mrs. Six sighed deeply. "You really are something, but never mind. I don't want to say much, I just hope you plan everything carefully so you don't regret it. Of course, you have to trust me. Don't worry, in just a short while, we'll have a completely different life. I don't wish for anything lavish. As long as you're healthy and Sang and his brother study well, that's enough." "That much is certain. Now, let's eat dinner, I'm starving." Mrs. Six nodded and hurried because she had to go sell later. But she didn't know that she had been deceived by Mr. Six. Actually, Mr. Six hadn't hired any other master, he just said that to keep his wife quiet. And besides, he also planned that on the opening day, he wouldn't rely on Master 2, but would contact a nearby monk to recite a sutra, and that would be it. After a while, dinner ended, and it was time for Mrs. Six to get ready for work. Seeing his wife's diligent and hardworking figure, Mr. Six seemed to gain more motivation to quickly implement his business plan. After his wife left for work, Mr. Six was about to urge his two sons to take a nap when he heard a voice calling from outside the gate. "Six, are you and your wife home?" He stepped out onto the porch, squinting. "Oh, who's this Fat?" Mr. Fat, who just spoke, was the village chief and also Mr. Six's cousin. Recognizing an acquaintance, he quickly stepped out to open the gate. Mr. Fat muttered, "Not driving today, why are you home?" "Oh yes, Mr. Fat, what can I help you with?" "I'm changing professions soon, no longer driving cargo." "Changing professions to a transport company? Want to become a driver?" "No, I don't have that much money or that much guts. I'm just planning to switch to selling and repairing auto parts." "Ah, that's a money-making job. I see people with cars, whenever their family members go for paint and repairs, it costs tens of millions, not a small amount. And in this area, no one has dared to do this job yet. You're the first, so it's easy to make a lot of money." "Yes, my wife and I hope so too. Mr. Fat, are you here to visit or for something specific?" "A bit of both, visiting and business. I just had my house renovated, so I want to throw a party to treat everyone, just acquaintances and relatives. I plan to organize it next weekend. You and your wife make sure to come and visit that day, okay? Coming directly or stopping by your house." "But when did you renovate your house? I didn't hear anything." "I said I'm just doing a few small minor renovations. It's an excuse to invite everyone for a meal and drinks." "Poor thing, your Aunt Fat is very strict about drinking. She always says drinking causes illness, so people don't buy alcohol near her for 2 or 3 days, then they start again. It's a cold war, and you know I'm the village chief. Sometimes I have official duties and have to drink a few glasses to entertain guests. It's not like I'm eager for it." Mr. Six chuckled. "Aunt Fat is just like my wife. She sees a bottle of alcohol as an archenemy. Well, they say wife first, heaven second, so you just have to bear with it, honey." "You're right. All right, that's it then. I have to visit a few more houses. If I'm free sometime, I'll drop by to visit. Now that you're home like this, you won't be driving anymore, right?" "Yes, I'm staying home now. I'll be here whenever you come, except when I have errands, which won't be long. If you're afraid of missing me, just call an hour in advance." Agreed. After a few more words, Mr. Fat also left. The following week, today was a special and important day for Mr. Six. After a period of planning and preparation, today was the opening day of the shop. He also used the names of his 2 children to name the shop. The rather luxurious signs were very much to his liking. Those present at the opening today were relatives, family members, and friends of both husband and wife. Everyone was happy and sent their best wishes. Around 8 a.m., a monk in a yellow robe appeared. Mrs. Six saw him and was a bit surprised, turning to her husband and asking, "Mr. Six, you said you hired a master for the ceremony, but this is a monk, didn't you know?" "I know, but I thought you invited master too. You said that before, now why 2 or 3 masters?" "Those people are not reputable, and although our family doesn't follow Buddhism, choosing a monk to chant sutras for the opening ceremony is the most appropriate." Hearing that, she could only nod. The ceremony then proceeded quickly. After nearly an hour, the ceremony ended. The monk received the offering from Mr. Six and quickly left. Now, everyone is very excited, and soon it will be time for the feast. Don't worry, I've prepared hot dishes, and again, I ask everyone to definitely stay and enjoy the feast today. Mr. Fat, the crowd nodded to the husband, but Mrs. Six, for some reason, felt anxious and restless in her stomach. This expression was quickly noticed by Mrs. Ngok, the owner of the water stall where Mrs. Six sold her goods, who approached, patted her shoulder, and whispered, "Hey Six, don't you feel well?" "Oh, Sister Ngok, I don't know, I suddenly feel nauseous." "Or maybe you're just too happy." "I don't know, but first, I don't know if I should say this." "But go ahead and say it, why hesitate now?" "Sister Ngok, since yesterday, I've noticed my left eye twitching." "What, my eye twitching? Are you serious?" "Yes, it's true, I don't know why, but every time something bad happens, I get like this. Today is my husband's opening, so I'm trying not to tell him. He would probably scold me for thinking nonsense." Mrs. Ngok nodded in agreement, saying, "That's right. Today is a happy day, and I don't think anything's wrong. You're just too worried about Six's business, that's all. Now, listen to me, sit down, have a glass of water, and you'll feel better immediately." Mrs. Six nodded, and indeed, after that she felt a little better, but some sense of apprehension and anxiety still lingered in her gut. Time flew by, and now it was past 5 p.m. The celebratory party for the shop's opening was coming to an end. Of course, Mr. Six was completely drunk, to the point where he couldn't distinguish his own cup or glass. He just grabbed whatever was within reach and drank, so Mrs. Six stepped forward. "Well, everyone, all good times must come to an end. My husband, Mr. Six, is drunk, he can sleep here, but everyone else needs to go home. If it were up to me, we'd end it here. If anyone's free, please come visit us later. But for now, safety is paramount, please understand." Hearing his wife, he immediately waved his hand. "No, no one is leaving. Everyone stay here and drink with me, no one goes home. If there's no more beer, I'll order a few more cases. As for you, if you're tired, go rest. It's a party now, if you act like this, it'll look bad." Mrs. Six sighed but didn't know what to say. Vin, Mr. Six's friend, then spoke up. "Six, it's Vin, I think your wife is right, she's not wrong. And many times before, I and everyone else stayed, but this is enough fun for now. Honestly, I can't drink anymore. Let everyone go home. Sometime when we have a chance, we brothers will get together. There's always plenty of alcohol, so no need to worry. But I still want more, it's still fun." "I know it's fun, but you have to let everyone go home. Everyone has their own work tomorrow." Not just Vin, but the others also spoke up. But after a while, Mr. Six reluctantly nodded in agreement. "All right, if you want to leave, then leave. If no one wants to drink anymore, I won't force it. Thank you everyone for coming to celebrate today, thank you very much." Mrs. Six could only sigh and shake her head despairingly at her husband's mannerisms and words. A while later, the guests had left, and she helped her husband to their room. Although it was still early, Mr. Six was in such a state of drunkenness. And Bin Village was not a wise choice for him to sleep, referring to the noise. Fortunately, Mrs. Six had already cleaned up the bedroom on the upper floor. Its bed was quite spacious, enough for the couple, and sang and trammed to sleep there. The next morning, Mrs. Six woke up to the alarm ringing loudly in her ear. A bit annoyed, she grumbled, "Honey, turn off the alarm, why is it ringing so long?" But after a long while, the alarm kept ringing. Curious, she peeked her eyes open and then paused when she saw Mr. Six sitting on a nearby chair, his eyes looking out the window towards the bustling street below. The phone was on the table. "Honey, turn off the alarm, it's too noisy." But Mr. Six remained still and silent, without any reaction at all. Too annoyed, Mrs. Six got up, stepped off the bed, and slyly took the phone. After turning off the alarm, she patted her husband's shoulder. It was then that Mr. Six started, his eyes wide open, staring at his wife. "What's wrong, dear? I've been asking you so many times, suddenly you're like a statue, didn't you hear the alarm?" I couldn't sleep, I'm sorry. I was just thinking about a few things." "Thinking about what? Why did you set the alarm for 6:30 a.m.? Are you planning to go somewhere?" "I plan to wake up early to check the newly imported machinery and equipment. I won't have time later with all the drinking and entertaining guests." "All right, you can check them later. Go lie down on the bed and sleep for a bit, your face looks haggard and lifeless." Mr. Six managed a forced smile, and as if remembering something, he looked at the bed. "Look, dear, Sang and Tram look so peaceful and sound asleep." "Yes, it's the weekend, so let them play here until noon, then we can go home. Are you planning to go home now or stay here?" "I'll probably stay. You go home and get some clothes for me. When you go to work, stop by and I'll give them to you. For the next 2 or 3 days, I have to be here to arrange everything, and now I need to find more staff." The opening was on the weekend for people to have free time, but for real operations, it'll take another week. Mrs. Six nodded, saying he seemed to have calculated everything appropriately. "Lie down for a bit longer, then wake up and take the 2 kids home, otherwise, I'm a bit tired myself." "Are you tired? Do you need medicine? Should I go to the doctor?" "I'm fine, probably just the changing weather, and yesterday was very tiring with all the cleaning and arranging. It's all right, I just hope you can focus soon so you can take care of me and the kids." "Of course, you don't need to remind me." Mrs. Six nodded, then lay back down on the bed and quickly fell asleep. Around 9 a.m., she woke up. This time, her husband and 2 children were no longer in the room. When she went downstairs, she saw the father and 2 children playing in the yard. The peaceful scene made Mrs. Six feel very relieved. Mr. Six noticed her, smiled, and waved. "You're awake? How do you feel? Are you still tired?" "I'm fine," sang Tram, "you too. Go inside, let Dad work, or go inside and clean up your things, your mom is back." The 2 children were still pouting. "Mom, it's the weekend today, and we only have tutoring in the early afternoon. Mom, let us play with Dad more." "Go on, let your dad work." "Yes, Mom." Sang showed clear disappointment on his face. Mr. Six patted his son's head and comforted him. "Come on, you two, be good and listen to Mom. Once Dad finishes arranging everything, Dad will dedicate a day to take you out to play, buy food and drinks, okay?" "Dad, promise." Of course, Dad promises. After a few more words, Mrs. Six also pulled her son onto the motorbike before leaving, reminding her husband to be careful with everything he did. Time quickly passed, and now the day was almost over. Mrs. Six took the day off from selling to stay home, cook, and pick up her 2 sons from tutoring. She had also spoken to Mrs. Ngok, saying that in the near future she would work less, partly to take care of household chores and also to help her husband. After all, business also needs a woman's touch. Mrs. Ngok understood and agreed. In fact, in recent days, she had also brought in a nephew from outside to help. So when Mrs. Six was off, someone else would take care of the work. After Sang and Tram went to study, she took her phone to call her husband. Now she finally had time to wonder. Her husband hadn't called or texted her since the afternoon. I wonder if he's busy or out drinking. Thinking that, she immediately dialed her husband's number. On the first call, it just rang, no one picked up. How strange, why? On the second try, it connected. "Hello, I'm listening. What are you doing? I've been calling forever, why didn't you answer?" "I just finished showering and was about to find something to eat." "Good heavens, it's past 8 p.m., why haven't you eaten yet?" "I've been busy arranging things in the shop since the afternoon. A few people came to ask when we'd open, they're ready to bring their cars." "Oh, that's great, how are you and the kids?" "Same as always, they're studying in their room. I wonder if they'll be excellent students this term. They're still young, I don't know about demanding high achievements, but we don't need to be so serious. That's your job, watching over the children, I rely on you. Remember to raise them well." "Oh, what are you saying? Am I supposed to do it all by myself? Or do you no longer love me and the children?" "All right, I'm going to eat now, I'll call you later." "Okay." The call ended, Mrs. Six put the phone on the table, then turned on the TV to watch her favorite reality show. Around 10 p.m., her eyes were starting to feel tired. After checking the doors and windows and watching Sang and Tram, she went to her room, lay down on the bed, and quickly fell asleep. But she hadn't been asleep long when she was woken by the phone ringing loudly. Who would call at this hour? She was a bit surprised when she recognized the name and number displayed as her husband's, and it was 1 a.m. Without hesitation, she picked up. "Hello, I'm listening. Is something wrong?" From the other end, Mr. Six's voice echoed. "Is that you? Are you asleep? I miss you so much, my goodness." "What's wrong with you? Suddenly calling me when I'm asleep, saying you miss me. Do you know what time it is? I'm serious, tell me, are you drunk?" "No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not drunk. I also wanted to drink but was busy with various things." "All right, if you're not drunk, go to bed and get some sleep. Tomorrow when I go to work, I'll stop by in the evening to see how you've arranged the shop, if it looks good." "Oh, I know." Mrs. Six fell silent, intending to hang up, when suddenly her husband's voice echoed. "What happened today? I dreamt of my parents and maternal grandparents. Why? Suddenly I'm dreaming. When did this happen? Just close my eyes and I see them. Never mind. It's nothing, you go rest, we'll talk tomorrow." "Yes, honey." After a few more words, Mrs. Six hung up, but how could she have known that this would be the last call the couple would ever have? 3 days later, Mrs. Six was woken by the phone ringing in her ear, not bothering to check the time, knowing the caller was her husband. Seriously, he said he wasn't drunk, but he's calling at this hour. She picked up, accompanied by a shout. "Finally, are you going to let me sleep or not? What is it?" But before she could finish, a voice echoed from the other end of the line. "Ah, hello, are you Mr. Six's wife?" Who are you, and why are you using my husband's phone? Hello, ma'am. I am a traffic police officer. We just recorded an accident in front of the bus station involving your husband, Mr. Six. What? What did you say? My husband had an accident. He should be sleeping now. I don't understand. What about my husband now? Please calm down, ma'am. Please get in the police car for me to escort you to the scene and contact relatives. Wait, what are you saying? I can't believe there's a mistake. We haven't fully confirmed, so if possible, could you come with us to identify the victim? Yes, I'll come. The call ended. Mrs. Six couldn't think anymore. Still wearing her pajamas, she rushed out into the yard, frantically dropping her bunch of keys to the ground, searching for a long time before finally finding them. Nearly half an hour later, upon arriving, Mrs. Six noticed a large crowd from the bus station surrounding the scene of the accident. Even at this point, Mrs. Six still hoped there was some mistake, but when the traffic police officer led her to identify the victim, that small hope was finally crushed. Because she recognized the mat covering the victim's body was Mr. Six, her husband. He was still wearing the clothes she had chosen for him that afternoon. Mr. Six was lying under the truck, his blood splattered everywhere. At 5 a.m., Mrs. Six awoke in the emergency room of the hospital. Remembering what happened before she fainted, she also shot up and asked questions. She even thought it was all just a nightmare. But no, Mrs. Ngok was the one who had to bring Mrs. Six to the emergency room. She confirmed that it was no dream. Mr. Six's death was real. His body was currently in the hospital morgue, waiting for Mrs. Six to wake up and complete the identification paperwork. Needless to say, Mrs. Six was in extreme agony, constantly shaking her head in denial. No, my husband can't be. It's all just a mistake. But no matter how much she wanted to deny the brutal truth, Mrs. Six had to accept it. When she went down to the morgue, Mrs. Six saw someone in uniform, and upon closer inspection, it was Vin, her husband's friend. Mr. Vin. Vin only nodded in greeting, and Mrs. Six burst into tears. How could something like this happen? Mr. Vin, who caused my husband's death, you must lock them up. They dared to kill my husband. Calm down, we need the final investigation results, Vin said with a heavy heart. This is a strong finding because according to the truck's camera, the driver was driving properly, not exceeding the speed limit, and was about to enter the bus station when Six suddenly dashed in front of the truck, very quickly, right into the blind spot of the vehicle, so the driver couldn't react in time. What are you saying? My husband was fine, why would he do that? Mrs. Six cried. That's why I said we need the final investigation results. I'm just telling you what I saw on the camera. There's no camera. It must be the killer trying to cover up their crime. You guys are biased. Mrs. Six grabbed Vin's collar and clawed at him. Mrs. Ngok rushed over to stop her. Six, calm down. The police understand. Six is temporarily agitated, so it's okay. Vin said to Mrs. Ngok, I was resting earlier when I heard my colleague call, and I was even more surprised to learn that the deceased was my friend. Mrs. Ngok sighed. I sell things right in the bus station, only a few hundred meters from the accident site. I'm not too surprised, but Six just opened his shop and was doing so well, I really can't imagine. Yes, now I'll help you look after the children and Six, Vin said. And as for the investigation, I'll take charge and make sure everything is clarified, so Six won't be wronged. It's already late, Six, listen to me, go back to your room. No, I want to stay here with my husband. There's nothing you can do here, listen to me, go home and wait for news. But until that morning, the investigation results remained unchanged. Based on the camera footage and witness statements, the investigation agency announced that it was an unintentional accident and the truck driver was not at fault. It was likely Mr. Six was rushing to cross the road and didn't pay attention. Needless to say, the most distraught person at this moment was Mrs. Six, who cried terribly, fainting and waking up 2 or 3 times. At 8 a.m., the vehicle carrying Mr. Six's body arrived home. The next scene was incredibly heartbreaking as Mrs. Six sang and Tram knelt beside the coffin, crying bitterly. The 2 children kept calling out their father's name in despair. Anyone witnessing this scene could only shake their heads and sigh sadly. At 10 a.m. that same day, Master Hoa was also invited by Mrs. Ngok to perform the funeral rites, as Mrs. Six could do nothing but cry. But as soon as he arrived, Master Hoa shook his head thoughtfully. I told you, why wouldn't you two believe me? I spoke and you wouldn't listen. Now you call me master? What does that mean? A few days ago, this couple invited me to check the feng shui of the property they plan to rent for their business. After checking their birth dates and the auspicious time, I said this land was unsuitable. The couple said they would discuss it again. I thought they would listen to me and find another piece of land, but who knew they arrogantly ignored my advice. I also remember that time I warned that this conflict was destroying the owner. Mrs. Ngok looked at Mrs. Six. Six, Master Two says it's truly bad for Six. Yes, that happened, but Sister Ngok, I didn't agree that everything was so serious. Good heavens, it's true, you're fearless, I don't understand you. Mrs. Six suddenly remembered something and exclaimed, Oh, that's right. Sister, do you remember on opening day I told you I felt uncomfortable, nauseous, and my left eye was twitching? I understand the reason now. If I had listened to myself, listened to Master Two, there wouldn't have been this tragedy. Master Two stepped forward, placing his hand on Mr. Six's coffin and said, Now, if everyone wishes, I can perform a ritual to call his soul up to speak if there's a need. Everyone present was curious. So after nearly half an hour, a bowl of burning incense sticks and a handful of salt and rice were held in Master Two's palm. He sat cross-legged, holding a red cloth in his hand, and then suddenly his whole body twitched repeatedly. While everyone was bewildered, sobbing sounds began to emerge. Master, are you all right? Mrs. Ngok asked. Is it Six? Is that you? The crying became clearer and clearer. As for Mrs. Six, she seemed to burst into tears and rushed forward. Fortunately, Master Two Hoa had previously warned not to let Mrs. Six or other close relatives touch his body during the seance, otherwise, the soul would not be able to be called. Immediately, some relatives pulled Mrs. Six back to the coffin. Six, calm down, don't ruin Master Two's work. Mrs. Ngok, after regaining composure, began to ask, Six, is that you? The sobbing sounds were now accompanied by a voice responding, Sister Ngok, it's me, Six. I'm sorry, my wife, I'm sorry, my children, Dad is sorry, Dad was truly wrong. After finding composure, Mr. Six's soul, inhabiting Master Two's body, recounted. Strangely, on the night of the opening, Mr. Six dreamt of many chaotic and frightening images that made him unable to sleep, forcing him to stay awake all night. It wasn't until the next morning, after his wife and 2 children had left, that he dozed off and continued to dream. He dreamt of his deceased relatives, standing there, reaching out, and telling him to come with them. The climax was the accident. He saw his father standing across the road, calling him to come. At first, Mr. Six was still rational, but gradually he became more and more deluded, only knowing to follow without paying attention to anything else. And then, when he heard the sound of the car, Mr. Six suddenly became aware, but it was too late. He saw his body being dragged under the car, his soul leaving his body immediately after. Mr. Six saw all the tragic scenes of his wife crying in the hospital morgue. But he didn't know what to do. He tried to run and embrace her, but his entire being was like a thin mist, passing through his wife's body. At this point, Master Two's whole body trembled. When he returned to normal, Master Two took the salt and rice and the red cloth from his head. Master Two breathed heavily. Did everyone just talk to Six? He just passed away, so he can't inhabit my body for long. Yes, Master. As you said, Six was too careless. What should we do now, Master? What else can be done? It's already happened, we can't bring him back to life. So, everyone, don't grieve too much. Tomorrow I will preside over the funeral to make it proper. When he is taken for burial, I will go to the accident scene to perform a ritual to bring his soul home, to be worshipped with incense and flowers until he can be reincarnated. He can't return home yet. And I had to ask very earnestly for the Earth God to allow him in. Yes, Master, we rely on you for everything. Master Two nodded, looking around, and added, While I'm here, I want to remind everyone, spiritual matters are not to be taken lightly, especially important matters like business, trade, and building a house. Once it's been deemed a major taboo, absolutely do not go against fate. Before now, how many people who did so had a normal outcome? The crowd nodded then, but not everyone thought Master Two was right. Among those people was Vin. Obviously, it was hard to ask someone like him, a police officer, to believe in rituals or spirituality. And Vin still explained his friend's passing as simply an unintentional accident. Returning to Master Two's seance, he began to walk around Mr. Six's coffin, muttering incantations. He also opened his tool bag, took out a brush, and drew squiggly symbols on it. Time passed like this. The first day of the funeral was almost over. The mourners were no longer numerous, only a few scattered people remained, mainly relatives. Mrs. Six was exhausted, so she was taken inside to rest. Sang and Tram, wearing their mourning headbands, huddled in a corner of the house. Vin, seeing it was time, sat on the porch, drinking with a few men from Mr. Six's family. When it was getting late, the clock turned to 9 p.m., he stood up and glanced at the table. Vin turned towards the morning hall inside, and when he arrived, he lit incense for his friend. Then Vin walked over and sat down facing Sang and Tram. "You two, listen to me. Your dad is no longer here. You must study hard and especially love your mother. If you have any difficulties, tell me, okay?" "Yes, thank you, Uncle. We miss Dad so much. Why did Dad leave us? Dad promised to take us to play after work. Come on, don't cry. You're a young man, crying is weak. If your dad were here, this wouldn't have happened. Come on." He stayed until the two children stopped crying, then Vin stood up. "You two go to bed early. I have to go home. I have work at the office tomorrow. Tomorrow after work, I'll stop by. Do you two remember what I told you?" "Yes, Uncle, we remember." Sang nodded. Vin patted his head one more time, then turned and left. When he got to the yard, he sighed. Vin's mood was also very heavy. And then, as he put the key in the car ignition and started it, Vin was startled because the light from the headlights revealed a shadowy figure right in front of him. Even more, this figure was Six, whose body was covered in blood. Vin was startled, and when he composed himself, Six's shadow disappeared. Vin put his hand on his chest and patted it, but he also rationalized it, saying it was because he had just drunk alcohol and was haunted by his friend's death, which made him see things. He slapped his forehead for sobriety to return, then Vin started his car and slowly drove out. On the way from Mr. Six's house to the staff residential complex, he felt a shiver down his spine. In fact, every time he passed a few turns, he felt a weight on the back of his motorbike as if someone was sitting behind him, but when he turned around, he saw no one. When he arrived, Vin unlocked his room, locked the door, and then just collapsed onto the bed, utterly exhausted. And just like that, he fell asleep. But contrary to his thoughts, this sleep was not very peaceful. Vin lay until the next morning, waking up only because of the alarm ringing. Otherwise, he could have slept longer. Vin felt his body was incredibly light. This morning, he had some work at the office. Vin quickly got up, showered, put on his uniform, and rushed to the committee office. Despite feeling refreshed, his day at work wasn't peaceful. He even laughed and talked with his colleagues. He remembered Mr. Six's funeral, realizing that this morning was when the coffin would be taken to the cemetery for burial, but he couldn't be there because he was busy with work. He planned to visit and light incense in the evening, but this plan couldn't be carried out because in the late afternoon, Vin was dispatched to resolve a land dispute case. The situation seemed more complicated, so it was 10 p.m. before the mediation meeting was resolved. Returning to the residential complex after a long day, Vin showered, washed his clothes, then quickly ate a bowl of noodles before going to bed. Sleep quickly came, but unlike the peaceful night before, Vin now dreamt of Mr. Six's soul, still in a terrifying, bloody appearance until he awoke with a start. He gasped for breath, his eyes stinging, looking at the wall clock, realizing it was past 1 a.m. Why am I dreaming of him again? But Vin himself rationalized that it was because he remembered the talisman that Master Two had given him yesterday was still in the pocket of his uniform, which he had taken off in a hurry last night and forgotten. Just like that, overwhelmed, Vin quickly opened the door and ran out to the clothesline. He reached in and searched until he found the talisman in his pocket, only to see it was crumpled. Oh dear, I'm really clumsy. I'll have to find Master Two tomorrow and ask for another talisman. But as he was about to step back into his room, Vin was startled because standing between him and the door was the horrifying figure of Mr. Six. First, Vin could even smell the metallic scent of blood from a decomposing body. His whole body stiffened, his throat constricted, his eyes still wide open. At that very moment, at the cemetery, in front of Mr. Six's grave, several figures stood. Among them were Mrs. Six, Master Two, and 3 young men. These young men were Master Two's disciples, and the reason for their presence was that they were carrying out a sinister plan to tamper with Mr. Six's body. The truth behind his death was not just an unintentional accident. Unlike the serene and loving image outsiders saw, Mrs. Six actually had a passion for gambling. The couple's savings were eroded by her gambling addiction, to the point where they not only spent all their savings but also had to borrow money from outsiders. That time when Mr. Fat, the village chief, came to their house, it wasn't to invite them to a party, but actually to collect a debt. But he only met Mr. Six, who then quickly changed the subject. Mrs. Six owed many people, an estimated amount of billions of dong, and she knew that once the truth was revealed, she would lose everything. And when people are in such a desperate situation, they are prone to reckless acts. Mrs. Six decided to find a way to harm her own husband, then claim his life insurance policy worth nearly $1 billion dong. Initially, she planned with Master Two to arrange an accident for Mr. Six while he was driving cargo, but this plan failed because he decided to change professions. Plan 1 failed, but things didn't stop there. Mrs. Six didn't give up and even exploited her husband's decision to change properties. When Master Two came, there was actually no conflict at all. It was all Master Two's spell work. He obtained information about Mr. Six, then performed a ritual to summon ghosts and demons to possess him, control him, and cause the accident. The plan seemed perfect and successful until yesterday, when Vin recounted Mr. Six's spirit appearing to him. The two suddenly became nervous, fearing exposure. So tonight they decided to exhume Six's grave and tamper with the coffin once and for all. After digging for a while, Master Two's young disciples exclaimed, "We've reached the coffin, Master." Master Two seemed very anxious, holding a small bottle of blood ink and a red talisman. "Hurry up, open the lid." Before the final action could be taken, a loud voice shouted from all around, "Everyone, freeze, hands up." Then figures in uniform appeared from the darkness, shining flashlights on Master Two's group. Mrs. Six was terrified and also saw Vin leading the police team. Everyone was detained and brought to the police station because someone had reported their act of grave desecration and superstitious activities. Mrs. Six then approached Vin. "Mr. Vin, this is a big misunderstanding. I'm performing a ritual for Six to pass on properly." Despite her pleas, it had no effect. Everyone was then escorted into the vehicles. In fact, it wasn't by chance that Vin arrived. Earlier, when he saw his friend Six's spirit, Six couldn't speak but gestured as if he wanted Vin to follow him. That led Vin to the cemetery. He hid in a corner, witnessing the ritual and overhearing Mrs. Six and Master Two's confession as they talked. Vin was furious, so he called his colleagues to come and make an official report. But of course, Vin couldn't prosecute them for Mrs. Six using black magic to harm her husband. He could only charge them with grave desecration and superstitious practices. But Vin didn't have to wait long as retribution came very quickly. Just days later, Mr. Fat received news that Master Two had hanged himself in his house. Before dying, he screamed and yelled as if terrified of something. It was Mrs. Six's turn. Although she didn't take her own life, she was hunted by creditors and disappeared without a trace. After several weeks, she was found in the market in a truly pathetic state. Her clothes were tattered, her mind unstable. One arm was terribly mangled, fingers bleeding profusely and emitting a foul smell. Some people recognized her and took Mrs. Six to the emergency room, but her wounds were severely infected and the infection had spread to her blood. After a week of struggling with pain, she officially passed away. The most pitiful now were Sang and Tram. In just a short time, they became orphans. But fortunately, Vin stepped forward to adopt both of them. And of course, Vin didn't want to reveal the truth to them because he believed it was best for the two children to keep beautiful memories of their mother. Regarding Mr. Six's spirit, Vin also saw him a few times in his dreams, but his appearance was no longer horrifying. In Vin's dreams, Mr. Six seemed to be at peace. And after the 49th day, Vin no longer saw him again.